Here we're going to have a phrase by Rabbi Yossi as follows. Kol mechabed et Torah, someone who honors the Torah, gufo mechubad al briot, he himself, his own body will be honored by people. And kol mechalel et Torah, someone who degrades or desecrates the Torah, gufo mechulal habriot, then he himself or his own body will be degraded by the people. There are several explanations given here as what does it mean to be mechabed et Torah? How do you honor the Torah? We're not talking about a perspective of why it is that you learn Torah. We already spoke about the motivations to learn Torah and things of that sort. We're not talking about, performing the mitzvahs, not performing the mitzvahs. What does it mean to honor the Torah? So one explanation is given, it's a literal explanation, to honor the Torah, the actual physical Torah scroll or books themselves. When the Torah comes out of the Aron, you stand. When it passes by, you kiss it and you follow it. When you see a Chumash or a Gemara or any holy book that's underneath something, for example, on your table, and it's underneath a cup or something else, that you remove it, you honor it, you make sure not to put it on the floor, you pick it up. When you do those kinds of actions, the reward for that is that you yourself will be rewarded. If you go out of your way to show respect to the physical Torah, then your physical body and you yourself will be rewarded with honor in this world as well. The other explanation is given, Kol mechabed et Torah, someone who truly honors Torah, gufo mechubad al briot, he has to make sure that his body is honored by other people. Meaning what? So there's a famous Gemara that teaches us in Masechet Shabbat in Kuf Yudalid that a Talmid Chacham, someone who learns Torah, a scholarly student who learns Torah, if you find on him nitzara vav b'bgadav, if you find a stain on his clothing, chayav mita b'dei shamayim, it's so extreme that he's even punishable by death. Obviously, this is rhetorical, and they're trying to make a very serious phrase to show that someone who learns Torah should carry himself with dignity. Make sure not to have a stain on your shirt. Make sure that your shirt's tucked in. Make sure that you look presentable at all time. After all, you are presenting the Jewish people. You're representing the Torah. You're representing God in your mission. It has to be that follows too as well. That his own body, that his own physical self is respected by people around him as well. Here we're going to be talking about a person who's a judge. Learn Torah to the extent where he becomes a dayan, a judge. Rabbi Ishmael here again is the one that's going to be introducing us this phrase. Rabbi Ishmael, his son of Rabbi Yossi, would say as follows: "Hachoshech atzmo min hadin," someone who refrains himself from serving as a judge, porek mimeno eva, he avoids from himself hatred, vegazel, and thievery, ushuat shav, and false oaths, vehagas libo be'ora, and one who frivolously hands down rulings, in other words, looks for it, shoter rasha vegas ruach. He could be called a fool, wicked, and arrogant. So what's the explanation of this Mishnah? The lesson that's learned here is that one should truly avoid to be a judge. When somebody comes and wants you to be the judge of their case, it's really something that a person should shy away from. And the reason for it is because we learn from in the Gemara in Shabbat, Daf Kuf Yutet, En Adam roeh chova le'atzmo. A person never, ever sees himself as guilty. And that's just the tendency of a human being. You have a plaintiff and a defendant, they come before you, Ruvain says Shimon owes him $100. Shimon says, I don't owe him $100. And let's say you rule in the end that Ruvain does have to pay, or vice versa, whatever the judgment may be. The person who has to pay out, the person who's found to be guilty, at the end of the day is going to have hatred towards the judge. So a person should shy away from being a judge, if nothing else, simply not to evoke and create a situation where somebody in this world, therefore, as a result, hates you for it. Vegazel, if you avoid to be a judge, then at the same time, you were refraining from thievery, because sometimes you're going to judge wrong. It's possible you should at the very least doubt yourself and worry that you may judge wrong. And if you make Reuven give Shimon $100 when he really doesn't have to give it to him, you are causing thievery. You're causing Shimon to receive $100 that doesn't belong to him. So he's part of that thievery. And because of your judgment, you're the one that caused Reuven to lose $100 to Shimon. So you're also involved in that thievery. Another reason, another motivation for someone to shy away from electing to be a judge. Ushvuat shav, and at the same time you will also refrain yourself from false oaths, because in many cases in the Torah, a person has to swear in the process of the judgment. So say for example, Reuven says that Shimon has his collateral. He borrowed money from him and he gave him a watch as a collateral. And he claims that Shimon never gave him back the watch, even though he already paid back that loan. So the only way to deal with that case is to make Shimon swear that he gave back the watch. And say, for example, Shimon really, really wants that watch, and as a result, he swears falsely. You are personally involved in creating a false oath, which is also not a wonderful thing to have, and a reason to shy away from being a judge. On the other hand, someone who's a gas ruach, someone who is gas libo, he ferviously hands down rulings, and he looks for opportunities to do that. He's considered a shoteh, he's considered a fool. First of all, he's a fool because, as we said before, he's going to create enemies in this world. He's considered a shy, he's considered wicked, because you're causing thievery and false oaths. So that's actions of a wicked person. The gas ruach, and you're also considered to be arrogant, because it is your arrogance that brought you into this situation in the first place to judge, and look what you've created for yourself as a result.